All right, Shalom. All right, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. All right, welcome in uh, to this epistle this morning. It is Today is December 8th, 2025 AD. We got some news this morning. Came in yesterday from BP Earth. Uh, people that like to land back off of other people's videos. What's his name? Dabu77 or something. So this chariot right here popped up. Let me turn this music off. This chariot popped up, I guess, a couple of days ago, from behind the sun. Now, what you're looking at is a picture of the sun. All right, and what they do is they put a black circle in front of the sun, so that way they can get a visual of anything that's around the sun, or the light, or the solar flares, or the CMEs, coronal mass ejections. So this camera is usually going like all day. All right, you can go on their website and watch it. Somebody caught this on there. I think it was BP Earth. He saw it too. All right. Now the odd thing is that this circle that's in the middle, the small circle, I think that represents the size of the sun right here, and this is like the light from it. All right. Um. Now, if not, I think this big circle is the sun, but I'm pretty sure it's the small circle right here. But it shows you the size of this chariot compared to the sun. All right, it's huge, almost as big as the sun. Look how big it is right here. And what they did is they took still shots of it as it was moving. All right, somebody caught it. They saw it sitting there in the sun. Then it went behind it, right there, and then boom, out in the open. Now this is trailing behind Three Eye Atlas. All right. So I want to show you something. We're gonna I'm gonna play this video. Well, actually, I'm gonna show you something first because I've done videos since this object, which I believe is a fleet of chariots, and somebody very important in the midst because they being guarded like a kind of like a ushering of a parade or something like that. All right. So this is Three Eye Atlas before, right? And this object was around it. Now, this one right here did this lesson. The guy BP Earth again. They had a visual of Three Eye Atlas when it first appeared, and it showed an object here, and it showed a bunch of objects in the background. See it? Like something right here too. But there's a bunch of objects. All right. Where's that one at? I did. Cause I got a picture from the other day. Who was that? Dobsonian Power. I'm gonna go there too. Matter of fact, let me do that real quick. All right, I want to play this video real quick. Hopefully I don't get no copyright strike. But just a clip of it.
With an extension by about 1 arc minute towards the sun. So he's talking about that needle or whatever it is that is mysterious. During that period, GPL Horizons tracking of 3i Atlas reported a non-gravitational acceleration. That means that acceleration that was not caused by gravity.
So this this object, which I believe is a fleet of chariots, went around the sun and it used its own gravitational boost instead of a pull from the sun, and it sped up around the sun, and it actually adjusted its direction and moved to the left or something like that. So thing is being has its own propulsion. All right, so it's not a comet. And then it was other objects around it that slowed down and stayed around the sun while this object kept going and going towards Jupiter now and towards the Earth. Look at this. Now he gonna show this guy Dobsonian Power. He took his telescope out the other day and caught it live. I was watching it live, and he's gonna show the video in a second. And then I'm gonna go back to the point I was making about what just appeared around the sun. It's gonna come together. You'll see what I'm talking about. Watch this.
Or something else. Like Michio Kaku said, if it accelerates, non-gravitationally, of course, it's intelligent.
Yep, they were saying that if it accelerates by itself and not from the sun because of the sun's gravitational pull, then that means it's intelligent life in there controlling it, and it's clear.
And it did.
And it did.
So during that period, JPL Horizons from NASA reported that acceleration, so it's true, it's validated, away from the sun. It moved away from the sun and accelerated. The hypothesis here is, during that acceleration, if 3I Atlas is surrounded by a swarm of objects, objects means objects, might be probes, might be natural.
They keep saying probes, they chariots. Look, if 3I Atlas is surrounded by a swarm of objects that do not share its non-gravitational acceleration, then these objects will tend to be closer to the sun relative to 3I Atlas, because 3I Atlas is pushing away from the sun relative to the objects through its own non-gravitational acceleration. That's like you with a bunch of cars and you driving up too, and then they all then you pull off faster and the other cars stay back. It's that simple.
Objects, whatever, by a swarm of objects that do not share its non-gravitational acceleration, then these objects will tend to be closer to the sun relative to 3I Atlas. This is common sense. 3I Atlas changed direction and accelerated away from the sun. That means that if they were around objects in that moment of the acceleration, and they were around, but they didn't have that acceleration, they won't suffer. They will be with a different distance now, because the 3I Atlas went, like when you say goodbye and accelerate, you move away from the other car or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's the point of Aviloeb here. 3I Atlas accelerated, and the other ones, if they are there, got closer to the sun. If the object started at the same velocity and position as 3I Atlas, they would have a surplus in gravitational binding energy. This is calculations. So as long as those objects, the probes, whatever, do
listen to this part. Check this out. And I'm going to get back to the point.
not experience, as 3I Atlas did, the non-gravitational acceleration from mass loss as a result of solar illumination, when solar illuminates and the plasma as well hits the object, there's loss of mass, which is an anomaly that we have here. Where's the mass of 3I Atlas passing in front of the sun? If it's so small, how can it be?
Right, because if an object goes by the sun, it's going to lose a lot of its structure. That's what they mean by mass, because the gravitational energy and the power of the sun. But this object got stronger and was unfazed by the sun, but actually altered the sun and caused CMEs and coronal mass ejection and stuff, man, solar flares.
So they should maintain an anti-tail geometry with that needle, pointing always towards the sun relative to 3i Atlas and converging to its location at perihelion. A large swarm of objects, the fleet, would have a much larger
The fleet. Yeah, it's a fleet.
surface area than that of 3i Atlas. So to that to occur in physics, they will have to be bigger than 3i Atlas. And then it does the calculations as usual. You know, scientific stuff. This configuration would explain why the teardrop shape.
All right, he kind of going too much science, but y'all get the point. All right, there's a fleet out there. Now he gonna show what he caught on his camera. Hold on one second. He's gonna show what he was showed on his camera. He says, "Is the sunward anti-tail of 3i Atlas composed of a swarm of objects?" Mm. Now look, check this out. This was from his camera telescope the morning I watched this video. But as he was playing it live, you can see an object right here. Is an object here, and there's one here. There's actually a bunch of them around it. If you take a picture, if you take a screenshot and you start to pull the filters away, you're gonna see a black sphere right here, one here, one here. You're gonna see one here. There's a bunch of them all around it. All right. I did it on my phone. Maybe I'll do a video and show it what I got. But check this out. You're gonna see it moving right here. But 3i Atlas is here. Look right there. You can see it. All right. There's an object right here and right here. All right. So again, and they were wondering what the heck this is. Share this tab here. Right here. And this was 3i Atlas right here. But this was around it. So now today you have this. So let's play a video from BP Earth and see what he has to say. All right. Now, mind you, I did a lesson on these same type of objects about the air battle of Stralsund in 1655 and the celestial event over Basel or Basel. Right, celestial event, and they all saw chariots in the sky, and it was thousands of them. It was hundreds of them. All right. The red like fire chariots, and you got dark ones, black spheres. Remember this one I did the same lesson. I was talking about this chariot that popped up. All right. You can go back and check this video out. It's called The Air Battle of Stralsund 1655 on Lions Den main page, YouTube. You have this one. It shows that they knew these chariots were glowing. They got like mountains in the sky, that the scriptures say. Like electricity shooting off of these joints. Remember this one? They said it like a giant pillar was in the sky. This one right here is very evident. All right, the celestial event over Basel or Basel, which I think is Basel, on 7 August 7th, 1566. All right. It was a celestial event where they saw chariots. So let's go to BP Earth. I want to play this video of him talking about what happened the other day. What camera was it on? I want to show that too real quick. What was that on? Um, let me go back. Dabu 7. Dabu 7. He just went over it too, but he got the name of the camera on his page. It says caught massive black sun mystery object. They call it the black sun because they put this black disc over it so you can't see the sun. All right, so you can see clearly what's around the sun. Again, all right. But the actual camera name is hold on. It says mystery object caught on CCOR1 passing by the sun. All right, CCOR1. Let's see if we can watch it. All right, so it's this right here. Oh, okay. I guess you can watch it live. And this is how it looks. It's called the CCOR coronagraph. All right, so you can see the coronal mass ejections. Well, something just passed behind it and came out this side, and they caught it on camera. I might start checking this out too. So I guess this is live or no, from earlier. Wow, that's crazy. All right. So CCOR 1. All right, 1 camera. Let's go to 2. Wow. And this is 3. Wow, I might start checking this out myself. I'm gonna save this right here for later. That's cool. All right, so now let me get to the video with BP Earth real quick. Let's check him out.
25. Guys, you're looking at some very amazing images. You're looking at LASCO C3, and it's one of the satellites that are listed on our website at bpearthwatch.com. Now, what you're seeing is an occulter disk that is...
Wait, he said LASCO C3. So which one is that one? Coronagraph. LASCO C3 coronagraph. Oh. So this is C3. We were just looking at C3 right here. Okay, so he's looking at that one. That's the one he watched. Cool, okay. All right, so now let's get back to it. Interesting.
It covers the sun so that you can see what's happening on the outside of it. And the white circle represents the size of the sun. And there's something coming behind it, guys. Look at this.
Yep, I was right. So this white circle represents the size of the sun. And this John is big as that. Look at that. Come on, man. All right. John big as the sun. You know how small the earth is compared to the sun.
And then here in the latest image, we know that Atlas 3I just went behind the sun a few weeks ago, and it still hasn't, it's right in the middle of perihelion, and it's headed towards Jupiter. One of the first things that we talked about, and so did Avi Loeb, was the fact that it was coming in retrograde, which would make it extremely easy for it to drop off probes on all the inner solar system planets.
They keep saying probes, but it's a fleet of chariots, man, inside of a force, what looks like a force field. Um, and yeah, you can say dropping them off. You know, their terminology be kind of odd. You know, they say dropping off probes. You know, the angels ain't probing unless they watching on the earth. You know, watching the elect, things like that, watching over the wicked. But yeah, these are chariots, man. It probes. Like when they saw a Muamua, they said cigar or tic tac. They always try to make things small.
Look at that. What is this? Now, again, Atlas is moving out to the right of what you're looking at now. It's just past the orbit of Mars, but it's headed into what's called the Hill of Jupiter. And that Hill of Jupiter means that when Atlas gets there, it will be controlled or at least affected by the gravity of Jupiter itself. But look what's coming behind the sun now. We suspected back several months ago when Atlas came over Mars and they had the rovers and everything else they could have pointed up towards it, that something was going on. And I've shown in many videos that there are multiple objects inside what they're calling Atlas 3I and also a force field.
Force field.
Guys, check this out. Look at this. What is coming around the sun right now?
Right now.
And it, you can't really say it's as big as the sun, but this circle does represent that. And this is coming on the back side of it. The black section that you're seeing up here is part of the arm that comes off the tip of the satellite that puts the occulter disc there so you can see on the outside of it. And we know, and I've talked about it many times, that we've seen comets, we've seen asteroids, we've seen all kinds of things. And we've also read in the Bible that things would be coming upon this planet and men's hearts would fail them. What are we looking at now? We talked about chariots of fire, right? Look at this. Guys, look at this. This is amazing. It's unbelievable what we're seeing. Now, if you were just seeing a couple of maybe one image or one slot, but this is not. That's not what it is. And once it gets out of the brightness of the sun here, you're starting to see it has its own lights. It looks like Atlas is dropping off probes because it's coming in in these end times. We're looking at wars and rumors of wars, guys.
On point.
But this completely blows my mind looking at what we're seeing now.
What they're seeing now, so they're starting to wake up. You know, the people gonna wake up at the last second when they see it. That's why the scriptures say, "Blessed are those that believe without seeing." Us that been doing this work, but the ones that have not believed, especially these heathens, they're gonna see it when Yahushua shows up. You know, but they still gonna see their judgment. 2 Ezra 6:20, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away. See, this current rulership is vanishing away. Wars and rumors of wars, right? Downfall of Babylon, Esau's rulership, 2/3, you know, the curses upon our people. That's all beginning to vanish away. Shall be finished, all right, but it ain't finished yet. The end is not yet. Then will I show these tokens or these prophecies or judgments. The book shall be open before the firmament. The Most High going to render his judgment on the earth. And they shall see all together. All right, because we see from one way or ahead of time prophecy and clearly, and these heathens and 2/3, they're going to see it too late. All right. Let me play this.
Now, and guys, Ezekiel talked about chariots of fire. And
Yep, Ezekiel did talk about the chariots. Ezekiel 1. We went over that many times. I think last week, matter of fact.
When you talk about the sky going dark and everything blocked out, if an object this size, which is indicated by that it's very close to the size of the sun by this circle here, look at that.
Right. It might not be the size of the sun, but it's close to it.
And again, the black thing here is the arm. It's kind of like if you've seen the satellite dish systems, you've got an LMB out on the front. It's focused back on the dish. That's basically what this is, but it is blocking out the sun so we can see what's outside. Are we in those days and times?
Mm.
After
He said, "Are we in those days and times?" Yes, we are. Let's get that real quick. I'm gonna go to Second Ezra 9 first before I get this other precept. Second Ezra 9 and 1. And he answered me then and said, "Measure thou the time diligently in itself." All right, we're measuring the prophecies, the tokens. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, and the chariots are part of the signs in the heavens as well, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the Most High Yahweh will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, there should be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. All right. So, but also right here, let me get this. First Thessalonians 5 and 4, because this is important. First Thessalonians 5 and 4. No, let's go to 1. But of the times and seasons, we in those times and the season, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord Yahweh Shai so cometh as a thief in the night, unexpectedly, man. That's why it look like he creeping, you know, camouflaged almost, and it's called an invasion. All right. So yes, these are the times of Yahweh Shai's return and deliverance of Israel, judgment upon 2/3 in these heathens, or I'll say the wicked. For yourselves know perfectly. That's why he said we have a sure word of prophecy. Perfectly, man. Everything he showed us in the vision is perfect vision of what's about to happen. And we know the chariots are going to appear. We're looking for this. But a lot of people aren't. They're like, oh, is this it? Yes. For when they shall say peace and safety, that's what they're pushing on the earth. They're pushing P. You got Donald Trump trying to act all peaceful. At the same time, they're bringing mass destruction around, allegedly, around the world. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So it's going to be unexpected. So we can't sit back and wait for people to be alarmed or to show that they see it. We got to see it, be confident in what we see and what the Lord told us, and become proactive ahead of time. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that the day shall overtake you as a thief, man. Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. All right. So being ready. So now, I'm gonna play this a little bit more.
talked about since since day one that Atlas was not a comet, and I've shown you many images that it looks like a fleet within that. I don't know, guys. I'm going to look for updates early in the morning. It's already getting late, but this is amazing.
It said it looked like a fleet. So let's read this real quick, man. All right, I'm gonna try to wrap this up. It's Revelation 19 and 11. And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse, right, kind of like Three-Eyed Atlas, a giant glowing chariot, all right. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doeth judge and make war. So what he's bringing is judgment from Yahweh and also war against the wicked and righteousness, though. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. So he's going to conquer all these kingdoms. And he had, as he had conquered before, right? It said a great angel with a great angel with a chain in his hand. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. So that shows the what's the word? The infinite um spirit of Yahweh Shai that we haven't experienced yet. So it's like, say for instance, you call yourself um austere or strong, fast, but it's still somebody say they know you for these characteristics, but that's still you the one that know who you are. You know, there's still an essence of yourself that nobody knows but the Most High. So that's what the scripture means. That there's um a level of Yahweh Shai that we'll never know, or as man or humanity, because we're finite and He's infinite. Um, but it says we know Him as faithful and true and righteous, but we don't know Him as the Almighty uh, power under Yahweh yet. And we're about to experience that. He's gonna show up as God. We know Him as the living Word. We experienced Him as the Word that leaped down out of heaven. But now He's gonna come back as a mighty angel. All right, making war. So He's not gonna ask you to start the war, Esau. The Lord's gonna make war. He's gonna ignite it or initiate it, like Tupac said, bomb first. The armies which were in heaven. Whoa, look. The armies which were in the spirit world, they were in the fourth dimension. Now they're coming into our galaxy, into the third dimension. Uh, and the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses. Right? Not meaning they're going to be white, but glowing. All right? They got their own glow. Clothed in fine linen, white and clean. So the angels, they got on white garments, glowing. Uh, and out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations. And that's literally his verbal word as judgment. Whatever he says is going to happen. But it's talking about that laser beam that's going to come out of his hands or out of his chariot. He got options. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he shall smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the Almighty power. All right. So Yahweh Shai is going to tread the winepress himself. So like allergies down here in Florida, man, be crazy. I'm gonna finish this out. Uh, where is it at? Okay, here you go. And he had on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, Malak Shal Malakim, which would be King of Kings, and Adon Shal Adunyam, which is Lord of Lords. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, meaning out in the open. That's what it means, standing in the sun, out in the open, starting to reveal themselves. And he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, Come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great power, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. So what did that mean? What happened if you was boxing somebody and they was like, "Hey ref, get ready to pick him up. Hey ambulance people, y'all might want to get around the ring because and get this out for his lungs and his left orbital socket around his left eye because I'm about to break it." You're like, damn. You, do you believe him? Well, that's what the Lord is doing. He's setting up everything in place, man, going past the planets. They say whatever this object is rebalancing the energy out in space right now. And it has seeds of life within it. Like it has life producing energy. Look at that. Esau is all about destruction. Come on, man. That's the creator. It's the creator, man. If you tell me what this is. All right. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth. So Esau and the rest of the nations of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. Boy. All right. So yeah, man. Eyes to the skies, man. And Yahweh Ratazai, these are the this clearly a chariot, but 3i Atlas will be revealed what it truly is soon, because it started like a caravan of just a fleet of chariots, with a big object in the middle. So I'm gonna end this here, man. Hopefully it was edifying, and yeah, see you on the next one, man. We'll leave this here. Let y'all look at it. Shalom. Almost out of here, man. Almost out of here.